Hi, welcome back to the channel. I've been meditating on and off for about 20 years now, and I recently discovered a meditation practice that completely revolutionized the way that I meditate. And it's called Tranquil Wisdom Insight Meditation. I found it to have great benefits, work-wise, more focus, more flow states, getting tasks done without the interference of my chattering mind, and personally more peaceful, more joyful, a lot less suffering overall. In this video, I'll talk about why it's worthwhile to learn how to meditate, the benefits of meditation, my experiences with the 10-day online beginners and the 10-day advanced retreats, and finally, my top tips on how to get the most out of your retreat. So about me, I'm Cleona, the founder of Conscious Money. I'm a financial planner based in London in the UK, and I love to share resources about how to get free and clear with money and life. So why bother meditating at all? Well, I found it quickly improves the quality of my life. And there's a significant difference on the days when I do meditate is better than on the days that I don't. Mindfulness, as Bhante Vimalaramsi defines it, is seeing how mind's attention moves from one object to another. So it's not about stopping thoughts or examining thoughts or getting into the content of your thought. Rather, it's just seeing and understanding how your mind's attention moves. There's a lot of science that shows how meditation can affect the neural circuits of the brain and positively affect sleep, moods, our health, and so much more. And recently, there was a really good podcast by Andrew Huberman who talks about the science of meditation. So there's tons of scientific evidence. The main reason that I wanted to meditate was just to have less suffering, be happy, be more peaceful. And from my experience, I found meditation helps me with that. So I try to meditate every day because life is so much more joyful and peaceful and better when I suffer less. The online meditation retreat is really simple to book and it's offered free. There's a small donation to block the space, so it's $25, but it could change. And all you need technology-wise is the ability to fill out a Google form because you have to self-report to the teacher every day about your meditation progress. Initially, you have to meditate for about 30 minutes and walk about 15 minutes a day. But as time progresses, you will find that you will be sitting longer. And it is recommended that you set aside about 2 to 4 hours per day to read the guide, to do the daily meditations, to do the walking meditation, to listen to the videos, and to type out the Google form. So about 2 to 4 hours, which is pretty good. So the guidance that you receive is really clear. And when you report back to the teacher about what you're doing, the teacher then gives you different instructions or encouragement or asks further clarifying questions because the teacher isn't clear. And it's really beautiful. The process works. I was quite skeptical about how I would learn to meditate from just an online system, but it's really organized. They give you a playlist with the videos that you're supposed to watch. The instructions are very clear. And as long as you follow the instructions, you will find that you make really good progress. I loved all the talks by Bhante Vimalaramsi. They made a lot of sense. I made really good progress. And I have had a chattering and restless mind, so I'm sure you will. You're also encouraged to do like brisk walking because the body can get quite lethargic and the mind can then get dull. If you're sitting for long periods of time, you need the blood to flow. So you do the walking meditations with a little smile on your face, just like you do the normal meditations. And I won't go into the details of the technique itself because it's much better to learn from the teachers themselves. The evening sits were easier for me, but I did sit in the mornings and in the evenings, and I do sit now in the mornings and the evenings, but I noticed my evening sits are much better. So you have to see what works for you, what time of day, big meals, small meals. Generally, big meals are not good. They make you quite sleepy. And just see what works for you and then take that feedback and shift what you do. It's really important to follow the precepts. So they require you to take some precepts and they're quite easy to follow. I noticed actually that after my 10-day advanced retreat, which this is my third Twim retreat, like I'm on the fast track to Nibbana, I've lost my interest in swearing. I don't have a problem with hearing other people swear, but I just want to not swear. And I also have stopped drinking because I've noticed that when I drink, and I'm not a big drinker, but when I did drink, I noticed that my mind gets quite dull after. And I don't like the effect that it has on me anymore. So I've stopped drinking. But during the retreat, you do have to follow the precepts, which involve, wise speech, no drugs, no alcohol. But after the retreat, there are no rules imposed. So you're free to do what you want. But obviously, if you want good benefits from meditation, it's really important to protect your mind and make sure that it's wholesome. The wholesome mind is very important. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't like the idea of online retreat, and bear in mind, you're not sitting on a screen and meditating, you're just doing it at your own schedule. It's just that you receive some instructions, you have to fill in a Google form, and you have to watch some videos. But if you don't like the idea, then certainly you can go and join a physical retreat, which is much better. It doesn't have the same distractions of your home, and everything is provided for you, even food. And your only job is to meditate. And it's quite encouraging to see other people sitting longer and sitting, still like a Buddha, with you feeling all fidgety. So I also recommend doing the physical retreats if you don't like the idea of the online retreat. But the online retreat is so convenient. There's no carbon footprint. It's so easy to schedule. So if you just want to try it and see if this works for you, then I would recommend trying there. I recently just finished an advanced online retreat, and that's a commitment of 6 hours a day. Quite tough to do because I had all the distractions and I was doing it at home, but I was a lot more serious about it. I should have protected my time better. So you only have to take 5 days of leave for the advanced 10-day retreat because it's 2 weekends and the 5 days in between, and which is quite clever and quite convenient for most people to be able to join the retreat. And the 6 hours includes walking meditation. So the retreat went fairly smoothly, but day 2 was very tough. And I think day 2 can be quite tough for many people. A lot of distractions and a lot of resistance came up. You just have to sort of smile and follow the process and know that it will pass. It's just something that happens on retreats. With Twim, they talk about the 6R technique, which is quite helpful to be able to release the thoughts and return to the meditation. And I found after the retreat, I'm much more peaceful and happy. My husband says that I'm more fun to be around. I'm more relaxed, which is always a good thing. And I noticed that my mind, that there was always like this background of restlessness, like wanting to do something, a slight agitation. That seemed to have calmed down now. I spend a lot less time on my phone. I can see what the Buddha was talking about, the Four Noble Truths. I can see it in my meditation practice, and I can see it in life, that there is dissatisfaction and dukkha, suffering in life. And there are ways to overcome this dissatisfaction. And the state of the mind is so important, in overcoming this dissatisfaction. Even in daily life, you can do the 6R technique, which is just a process of releasing your identification and not going into the content of your thoughts and coming back to presence. At times, there were these intrusive thoughts, not random actually. They followed a certain pattern, like it would be the same person and the same issue and something quite insignificant, quite small. And I would think, what the hell? Like, when is this thought going to stop coming? Of course, you have to follow the 6R, which is relaxing and releasing, but then, you're like, oh my God, I've relaxed and released like 10,000 times. And this is such an insignificant issue, but it's coming up with so much of energy in my body. The thing is, when you meditate, you can't escape, you can't run away. You are faced with the things that come up and you have to sit with them. What I did was, there is an amazing guided forgiveness meditation retreat with beautiful phrasing. It's like, I forgive myself for not understanding. I forgive you for not understanding. And after I did the forgiveness meditation retreat, those thoughts calmed down. So that's another tip, is if you feel like you get blocked, then maybe there's some forgiveness work to do. And then you also see that the people that maybe have hurt you inadvertently, unconsciously or whatever, and that you have hurt, it's just operating from conditioning. If our parents hurt us, their parents hurt them, and so on it goes. And you just see that it's fairly impersonal. Like, if certain causes and conditions come together, then certain things happen. There is a lightness in seeing this in your experience. The other thing I've noticed is it's quite easy for me to just sit and like stare out of the window or look at birds or be in the park without my phone, without listening to a podcast. Although I like to take a walk and listen to a podcast while I'm at it. But if I don't have my phone, it doesn't bother me. It's really nice. Just being with whatever's happening is okay. There's less resistance. That's not to say that I accept everything that happens every moment. There are times when I have my preferences, but I've just noticed that there is this background of restlessness has sort of calmed down. Also, like tasks like making this video, I used to get quite stressed out about, oh my gosh, like something's not right, or the lighting or whatever. And the tasks seem to just flow. It's almost as if like the interference from Cleona's personality, Cleona wanting things to be the perfect way, not that any of my videos are perfect, but having a certain idea of how things should play out just got in the way of the happening of the task. And I can see that there is more of a flow to my work, more of a flow to my time, and more of a flow to my day, which feels very good. And I'm also calmer when I write my emails, which is very good for my business because there are times when I have to chase other people, other providers for something, and that could get me quite stressed out. I hope I keep meditating because you lose the benefits if you don't meditate on a daily basis. And again, there's no shoulds, like there are no instructions that they give you about how you should do things. But when you see the benefits, you automatically want to, because I think everybody would like to not suffer, and everybody would like to be more peaceful and happy. So in normal everyday life now, I notice more equanimity. I can do the 6-hour technique. Even when I'm not meditating, I can see that I need to let go of something's bothering me. And as you meditate, you notice that the thoughts that were quite strong and intrusive in their energy subside, and the mind, as it progresses in the meditation, also starts to 6-hour things automatically. And you can spend a good amount of time without necessarily any chattering going on, which is phenomenal. I never experienced that before until this online retreat. So I'm so grateful to experience this. There's also a reminder that, you're not a psychologist. You're not meant to analyze and go into the content of your thoughts. The mind, as you can see, is like an endless production source factory of thoughts, and it will keep throwing things your way and would like to grab your attention. And you have some ability with the 6-hour technique to keep coming back to the meditation. The 4 qualities, the Brahma Viharas, so loving kindness, joy, compassion, equanimity, are such beautiful states. And given a choice, the mind prefers to be happy and prefers to be peaceful. It doesn't want to get stressed. So it looks forward to sitting and meditating. So if you're worried and you think, gosh, I don't know if I could do these many hours, it just happens automatically. You light that fire, you start with the loving kindness, and it just takes you forward. And the other thing that I realized was Cleona, the doer, the high achiever person, the person who has ideas about how things should be, gets in the way of her meditation process. So on this 10-day retreat, I had a little bit of a challenge. I was so restless because I was trying to make the meditation go a certain way because I wanted to get certain results out of it. I told my guide, his name was David Johnson. He was a very, very good guide, very humble, very good listener. And he asked precise questions and gave precise instructions. I told him about my challenge, and then he said, well, all you do then is when you start your meditation, just sit with a smile on your face. Like, don't even start the loving kindness. Just sit for 15 or 20 minutes. And that helped me to calm down. And then the restlessness subsided, and it was much easier for me to get into it. I realized that it's not me doing it. The process is just taking it through, and you follow the process and you allow it to happen. The meditation works. Don't ask me how, but it works. So the online retreat for me was quite difficult because I was at home and I have my own business, and I feel a certain responsibility to check email, although I had an out of office on saying if it's urgent, write urgent in the subject line. Also, it was quite hard to be at home with my husband, who has never done a retreat with me. It's almost like he was on retreat too, because he could only communicate with me through notes. And sometimes he wanted to talk to me about something and he couldn't. And so that was quite hard. I think you just have to be disciplined, and you just have to agree a process for how the food is going to be set up, and who's going to cook or how it's going to work. I even told my friends on my WhatsApp groups, you won't hear from me. Of course, they're very supportive. And my neighbors, I told my neighbors, so if they saw me doing my walking meditation and I was staring at the ground but still smiling, they wouldn't worry or think, she's gone off her rocker now. And yeah, it's great that the people in your life support you, because they also get the benefits of you being happy and peaceful. Because when you suffer, you make other people suffer. And when you're joyful and happy, you also share that with others. So my top tip would be to really just block out that time and to protect it. Your mind gets quite sensitive when you do these kind of meditation retreats, and the work that you're doing is quite deep. So it's important to protect the time. If you check your work email and things, you'll find it will interfere with your meditation sessions. So it's best not to do it. I noticed that there were times when I did watch something that was not related to the meditation talks, and then I suffered in my next session. There was a distraction, there were more distractions, and there was more interference from that. So I quickly learned, to stay focused and to protect my attention. Like I said, I had a very challenging day too, and my mind was very restless, and it took a little bit of time to calm down. But then after that, I had phenomenal sittings right till the very end. My other tips are smile a lot. All you have to do is put a little smile on your face. You don't have to grin or show your teeth or anything. And even when you wake up in the morning, just a little smile on your face, even when you're not doing the retreat, it uplifts the mind. Follow the instructions and know that the process will unfold the way it does. The other important thing is try not to move once you sit. Now, if you like sitting on the floor and can sit for long periods on the floor, great, but I preferred sitting on a chair. Because sometimes if you want to go for a longer sit, if you're having a good meditation session, you don't even want to come out of it. So you can go for longer periods of sitting in the chair. So the first to the fourth jhana, you feel the body and sensations in the body and things like that. But from the fifth jhana onwards, you start to not feel the body and the body sort of feels like it's freezing. It's a bit like, when you set jello, you don't want to shake it because it's setting. It's a bit like that. You don't want to have any movement. So you can move your neck, but if you make big movements, then it affects what's happening. And so it's best not to move. So I had better sits when I could fidget less. But if I had to fidget, I would fidget. I wouldn't beat myself up about it. And then sometimes when you want to 6 hour, when you've told yourself, okay, I'm going to sit for X amount of time. Like let's say I decided to sit for an hour, but I know it's only been 45 minutes and I'm starting to get some ideas that I want to get up. Then I can 6 hour those two. Like I can 6 hour the urge to get up because there is some sort of aversion that's coming up that wants to not be here. And actually, if you 6 hour it, it goes away very easily. So to get the most out of that beginner's retreat, no socializing during the 10 days. Tell your friends you won't be in touch and you might not text them back so that they don't worry. No traveling during those days. I did work. I don't know if they say not to work, but follow the instructions that they say because they know how to make the meditation work best for you. And of course, a wholesome mind, like I said before, it's extremely, extremely important. So the online retreats I loved because they're low cost, because you don't have to travel. They're convenient. There's no carbon footprint. And then if you really get a lot out of the retreat, then donate generously because the dana also helps you, the dana donation also helps you to cultivate generosity. And also you're giving for a really good cause. You're giving to spread peace in the world. And so, or whatever it is that you're giving for. And if you connect with that, then that's also a good thing. The disadvantages are that you must be really disciplined. You need to have extra strong determination to be able to do a retreat at home. The people around you really need to understand and you have to give them quite clear requests about the noise levels because your mind does become quite sensitive. And if you want to get out of this dukkha, this suffering, then great to commit yourselves as much as you can. I've told a few friends about Twim and they loved it. I hope you go and do an online retreat. It's amazing. And if you do, and you like it, then please leave a comment and tell me all about it. Oh, and if you like this video and found it useful, please leave a like and comment for the algorithm. I also made another video about a physical online retreat in India. So if you'd like to go and have a look at that, you're most welcome. Thank you for listening. Be happy.